Good afternoon. We'll now start. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, your email address in the chat box. This includes the names of all companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk, so please show your beautiful faces in the video. Reminder, after the pep talk, please take the online learning com evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like the one shown here. I have placed the link in the chat box. And then another reminder, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher, free voucher for a RO Hosol medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021, 5 years ago during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course shown here on October 9, 2021. And then from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. May 17, 2025 marks the start of year number 5 for the RO Hoson Pep Talk. How long the pep talk will last will depend on the enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance of everybody. My pep talk today is entitled Symptom Sign Based Breast Cancer Surveillance. How I usually do it. The empowerment objective is to have an essential understanding for the lay people on the symptom sign-based breast cancer surveillance, how I usually do it as part of their health management. So the assumption is that there are many styles of doing breast surveillance. I'm going to present to you how I usually do it. The contents of this particular pep talk will be the following. What is a cancer surveillance? What is a breast cancer surveillance? How is breast cancer surveillance after definitive treatment is being done or has been done? What are the 2 commonly used approaches? Compare the 2 commonly used breast cancer surveillance approaches. Then how does R.O. Hoson usually do his symptom sign-based breast cancer surveillance? And then what are R.O. Hoson recommendations on breast cancer surveillance? So this will be the contents of this particular pep talk. Disclaimer, the R.O. Hoson pep talk contains my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations culled from my personal experiences, as well as from the writings of other professionals. Let's start with the first topic. Let's define first what is cancer surveillance. When you speak of surveillance as a word, it means close watch, close observation, close monitoring. Now, when talk about surveillance in medicine, close watch, observation, close monitoring of any event related to medicine, related to medical treatment, the treatment of a particular patient. Now, when you talk about cancer surveillance, This is more specific. This is the close watch, close observation, and close monitoring of any event related to cancer, especially after cancer treatment. It can be for diagnosis as well as for treatment. So cancer surveillance is for patients with cancer, where surveillance in medicine is for other things other than cancer, but it subsumes also cancer surveillance. Now, what is cancer surveillance? Let's now focus on this one, cancer surveillance. Cancer surveillance, as I said, is a close watch, close observation, close monitoring in a cancer patient during treatment and after treatment for the following. So we want to know what is the response to the treatment, what will be the behavior or the course without active treatment procedures, because there are some patients who may not need or who do not have to undergo active treatment procedure, but we have to have a follow-up, we have to have close observation and monitoring. And then we also try to check patients whether they are in remission or there is a recurrence. So these are the main purposes for the surveillance: watching for response to treatment, the behavior or course without active treatment, yung mga what's going on, if there will be recurrence or patients will remain in remissions. Cancer surveillance on a cancer patient is usually used in the context of close and continuous watch, observations, and monitoring for recurrence and after a definitive cancer treatment. So, kadalasan, itong cancer surveillance, when it's being used by the medical people, it's usually used for observing or monitoring for recurrence of a cancer. As we all know, doctors do not talk about cure in cancer. They always talk about the possibility of recurrence. That's why the follow-up is usually a lifetime follow-up. So during this lifetime monitoring, this is what we call cancer surveillance. So, but what is cancer surveillance after definitive treatment? May mga situations in which you can have surveillance not after a definitive treatment, let's say for palliative treatment. Okay, so let's define first what's a cancer definitive treatment. This is the primary treatment, the unang treatment or pinaka-main treatment chosen to provide the highest chances of cure or with intent to cure. The aim is to cure, okay, although we know that there's no guarantee, okay, especially done in which all the clinically evident cancers are completely resolved, annihilated, and removed. So kung yung mga cancer na maliit at matatanggal, we always aim for a cure para hindi siya umulit. Now, the treatment that are being done for not done for complete resolution of all the clinically evident cancers, we don't call that cancer definitive treatment. We usually call it cancer palliative treatment. Yung mga malala na, yung mga advanced cancer na malalaki na hindi kaya, kung minsan pwede pa yung operahan, pero the realistic objective is just for palliation, not for cure anymore. So we will, so when you talk about surveillance, it can be both for after cancer definitive treatment and after cancer palliative treatment. But the phrase cancer surveillance is usually used in the setting of a cancer definitive treatment and in cancer palliative treatment. Pwede din dito sa cancer palliative treatment, pero usually among the doctors, we usually use this phrase for those who have undergone a cancer definitive treatment. Natanggal lahat, wala nang evidence of cancer, we'll just monitor. So to repeat, cancer surveillance after definitive treatment is a close watch, observation, monitoring for cancer recurrence, kung uulit, after a definitive treatment. So what is a breast cancer surveillance after definitive treatment? Let's now focus on breast cancer. Kanina we talk about cancer surveillance in general. Ngayon we focus on the breast cancer. So breast cancer surveillance is just surveillance on patients with breast cancer. So surveillance in breast cancer patients after definitive treatment. Again, the definition is close watch, observation, monitoring for breast cancer recurrence after definitive treatment of the breast cancer. So ino-observe natin, monitor natin kung uulit yung breast cancer after a definitive treatment. So why is a breast cancer surveillance after definitive treatment a must do and how long? Why should it be done and how long? Because there is always a possibility of breast cancer recurrence even after a definitive treatment. As I mentioned earlier, no doctor will guarantee cure, that the cancer will not recur. Sad to say, no doctor can do that because the cancer can recur anytime as long as the patient is alive. The objective of cancer surveillance is to catch a cancer recurrence early enough, if in case it recurs, and to remedy it as soon as possible, and if still possible. So parang best effort palagi ito. So thus, breast cancer surveillance after definitive treatment is a must-do and is a lifetime affair. So habang buhay ang pasyente, tuloy-tuloy ang surveillance because there's always a possibility of recurrence as long as the patient is alive. So how it's breast cancer surveillance after definitive treatment is being done? This can be done with close, continuous, and regular watch, observation, and monitoring of, number one, symptoms of the patients, what they felt and observed. Number two, the signs from the physical exam of the physicians, particularly cancer specialists, yung mga examination results ng cancer specialists. So those are the signs. Yung symptoms are those yung mga nararamdaman ng pasyente na observe. And then, of course, the last one is monitoring can be done through laboratory diagnostic tests or procedures. So basically, these are the three types of procedures to do the close surveillance: symptoms, sign, laboratory tests. So currently, two approaches commonly practiced by breast cancer specialists. Number one is the symptom sign-based surveillance and the battery of test surveillance. Let's discuss first what is a symptom sign-based surveillance. This would usually include the following, ordered by the physicians. Number one, we ask the patients to continuously monitor the symptoms of possible recurrence, what they felt and observed, and to do at least a monthly breast self-examination, if not a daily breast self-examination. Number two, have a periodic breast cancer specialist physical exam to see if there are signs of recurrence. So yung una, yung pasyente, if you feel, you observe sarili nila, then after that, even doing daily breast self-examination or monthly, then after that, doing a specialist physical examination, periodic, usually once a year. And then ordering, yung specialist will just order diagnostic tests only when clinically indicated, not routine. Kung kailangan lang, kung after the physical examination by the breast specialist, kung may nakita siya, parang may duda, baka may recurrence, then that's time they ordered for the laboratory test. Kung wala naman, they just stop in number two. So, symptoms ito, base ito. Yung ordering of lab test is as needed, as indicated only. Di siya decahon, di siya routine. When you talk about battery of test surveillance, these usually include the following, ordered by the physicians. They usually order for CT scan of the chest. At times, they just order for chest x-ray kung di kaya ng pasyente. Sa gastos, to check the recurrence or spread to the lungs. CT scan of the brain to check recurrence or spread to the brain. Then bone scan to check recurrence or spread to the bone. Ultrasound of the abdomen. At times, they do CT scan to check recurrence or spread the liver. Then blood chemistry to check recurrence or spread to the liver, like SGOT, SGPT, okay, alkaline phosphatase, and then PET CT scan for the whole body. So these are the common tests that are being done in the battery of test surveillance by the doctors, by the breast specialists. So if you compare the two, this column shows the symptom-based surveillance. The other column here is the battery of tests. So these are the two approaches. So the approach, just explanation of the approach. Symptom-based surveillance based on symptoms of the patients and signs gotten from the physicians doing the physical exam. And then sa battery of test naman, it's a routine scheduled screening test with or without symptom and sign-based surveillance. Most of the time, doctors don't do this. It's sad to say, they just do lab tests. Pero pwede ding mas maganda kung if they do routine scheduled screening test, may kasama at tinatanong kung ano yung nararamdaman ng pasyente, symptom-based and also sign-based, ini-examine ng doktor yung pasyente. So as to the test, comparing the two, okay, in the symptom-based, only if clinically indicated. Gumagawa rin ng laboratory test dito sa symptom-based, pero kung kailangan lang. No? Pero dito, dekahon nito, regardless, kung anong walang nararamdaman, gagawin yung test. Now, evidence of survival benefit, comparing the two, walang added benefit yung battery of tests. Battery of tests. Kahit na with the battery of tests, marami kang nakikitang recurrence ng mas maaga, pero they end up with the same results, walang added benefit. At kadalasan may mga false positive din dito. Kaya dito, on the next row, anxiety from false positive, okay, more on the routine battery of tests. Maraming makikita na alarming results, matatakot lang yung pasyente. So less dun sa symptom-based. Cost, yung mahal, yung gastos, siyempre mas mahal itong test nito. Maraming CT scan, no? Okay. Mga blood tests, etc., etc. So the current guideline stands, ano yung position current guidelines? Ang nire-recommend talaga itong symptom-based surveillance, rather than itong battery test. This is not routinely recommended. Okay. There are clinical studies that compare the use of battery of tests versus selective tests. When you say selective tests, these are the symptom sign-based approaches in breast cancer surveillance, showing no added benefit with the battery of tests. So the results of this trial support the view that the protocol of frequent laboratory tests and X-ray after primary treatment for breast cancer does not improve the survival or influence health-related quality of life. So that's why the recommendation is that routine use of this test should be discouraged. So this was published in 1994. Then another study has this conclusion, yung mga chest X-ray palagi, bone scan, no? Although they allow earlier detection of distant metastasis or recurrence, but anticipated diagnosis appear to be the only effect of intensive follow-up, and no impact on prognosis is evident after 5 years. Periodic intensive follow-up with chest X-ray and bone scan should not be recommended as a routine policy. So another illustration that comparing the two, dito, pag meron kang symptom-based, yung pag nag-recur, makikita mo yung recurrence will be here at this point. No? Okay. So later than those with screening, with battery test, pag nagba-battery test ka, marami may makikita ka kagad. So earlier, no? Dito, at this point. No? So, but you try to follow up these two groups of patients, no? They usually die at the same time. No? Yan ang studies that have shown kung nag-recur na, they usually die at the same time. So, ang advantage itong battery of test, yung mental suffering is shorter. Kasi late na na-discover at yung before, the interval before death is shorter, kaya shorter ang mental suffering. Compared to those with battery of tests, maaga na didiskubre at mahaba ang mental suffering, poorer quality of life, and then namamatay sila at the same time as those patients without the screening or symptom-based surveillance. Of course, comparing the two, less expensive yung symptom sign-based surveillance, and then compared to those to the battery of tests, mahal. No? So how I usually do it? First of all, before I implement the symptom sign-based breast cancer surveillance strategy, I will explain first to the patients the two options of breast cancer surveillance and give the comparisons of the pros and cons, which I just discussed earlier, kanina, then get an informed consent kung anong gusto nila. And then if they decide on symptom sign-based breast cancer surveillance, then I proceed by telling them to continuously monitor the symptoms of recurrence. So, yung mga symptoms of recurrence, I'll discuss this later on. And then, aside from continuously monitoring the symptoms, they have to do regular, at least monthly breast self-exam. As I said, pwede namang daily because naliligo na may pasyente yung mga babae every day. Then, to have a periodic follow-up or check-up with me as a breast specialist to look for signs of recurrence. And I will do diagnostic tests only as clinically indicated kung meron akong indications for doing it. Kasi may nakita ako, mukhang meron, mukhang wala, may suspetsa ako, baka meron, hindi ako sure, then I will be ordering diagnostic tests. Now, for the symptoms-based cancer surveillance, the patient should continuously feel, pakiramdam, observe for the following common alert symptoms for recurrence. Ang common site of metastasis of recurrence kasi, yung distant will be the brain, the lungs, the bones, and the liver. Yung local naman, dun sa dibdib. So I will tell them to observe the following. Kung may bukol dun sa operated side or site of the breast or other breast, possible recurrence yun. Pag may mga bukol na bago after the operations. Then protracted headache, dapat yung mahaba ang duration ng headache, hindi lang yung, let's say, 1 day or 2 days na headache. No, it's not a symptom, alert symptom of brain spread. Brain can spread to the brain. No? Let's say, mga 1 month, 2 months, talagang sumasakit, hindi nawawala, no? At lumalala. So there's a possible recurrence or spread to the brain. Ganon din sa cough. Pag matagalan, 1 month, 2 months, no? Maging 1 week or 2 weeks because of flu, iba yun, no? So kung matagal, we have to think of possible spread to the lungs, and that's the time we may have to do diagnostic tests, usually CT scan of the lungs, of the chest. Then bone pain also, we have to differentiate that from arthritis, no? O baka nasaktan lang, na-strain, no? But if the bone pain is protracted, meaning 1 month, 2 months, hindi nawawala at lumalala, no? So possible recurrence or spread to the bone, then we do a bone scan or x-ray of the bone kung di kaya ng pasyente yung bone scan. Then abdominal pain, especially right upper side because andun ng liver, then jaundice, naninilaw ang mata, balat, no? So possible spread to the liver. So during the follow-up visit with me, I will ask them all the above. No? So especially, ito, ma-examine ko na. Ma-examine ko yung pasyente, makikita ko na, but I usually ask them, do you have protracted headache, protracted cough, bone pain, abdominal pain? Kahit na itong 4 lang, pwede na. For the symptom-based breast cancer surveillance, the patient should do regular, at least monthly breast self-examination. As I said, I now tend to advocate daily breast self-exam kasi naliligo na may pasyente every day at kinakapari ng breast. So sabayan na lang breast self-exam. I will teach them how to do breast self-exam, which will include the following: both breasts, And the chest area, kung merong mastectomy was done, kung natanggal na isang suso, so kakapain pa rin yung chest, yung dibdib. No? Then, aside from the breast, yung kilikili, both armpits, and then both neck, especially above the collarbone, kasi doon pwede mag-spread yung cancer ng breast. Then, right upper abdomen to palpate the liver for possible mass recurrence. Kasi common din yung nag-spread din ng breast cancer dun sa liver. At pwedeng kapain naman ito. No? Now, for the sign-based breast cancer surveillance, I, as the breast specialist, will do the following, at least the following. Do inspection and palpation, ganun din sa pasyente. Observe, look, then feel. Okay, sa akin naman, we call it inspection and palpation. For assessment and evaluation of possible recurrence, both breasts, okay, or the chest areas where the mastectomy was done, both armpits, kakapain ko rin, both neck above the collarbone, and the right upper abdomen to palpate the liver for possible mass recurrence. So kung anong ginagawa ko rito, yan din ituturo ko sa pasyente, how to palpate their own body. If there is anything in the symptom and sign findings that will make me suspect recurrence, and I need to be definite about the findings, let's say I'm not quite sure, there might be instances baka medyo maliit pa, kaya hindi masyadong obvious yung findings, then I would request for a diagnostic test, So examples of selective diagnostic tests would be the following. On symptom surveillance, because of the protracted headaches, let's say matagal yung masakit ang ulo ng pasyente, so a recurrence or spread to the brain is suspected, so I will most likely order for a CT scan of the brain. Then if there is a protracted cough naman, palaging inuubo for 1 month, 2 months, then I will do a possible chest x-ray initially, and then a CT scan of the chest as indicated. On the sign naman, yung may nakakapa ko, let's say I was able to palpable right upper quadrant mass, abdominal mass, so I'm suspecting possible liver, then I will include, I will ask for an ultrasound of the liver or the abdomen or a CT scan kung kailangan. No? But I usually start with that ultrasound. Now, on the, kung merong bukol nakakapa doon sa sternal area, doon sa breastbone, doon sa dibdib, so a recurrence to the sternum is suspected, so I would do a bone scan or a CT scan of the chest, just to check kung talagang may recurrence doon sa buto, doon sa breastbone ng pasyente. So again, this, just to flash again the difference between the symptom-based and battery of tests. Symptom-based is based on symptoms and signs gotten from physicians. Yung battery of tests, yung routine scheduled tests, yung maraming tests. No? So gagawin lang yung test dito sa symptom-based surveillance kung kailangan, pero dito lahat gagawin. Hindi kahon. Now, in terms of survival benefits, walang survival benefits. Kung walang survival benefits, mas maganda pa rin yung symptom-based surveillance na lang. No? And then anxiety is less also for symptom-based, and then the cost is also lower for symptom-based. So the recommended guidelines at the moment, okay, even for the past so many years, I think for the past 40 years, no, in my practice, ganun pa rin. No? Okay. Pero maraming doctor na gumagawa dito. No? Okay. So what are my recommendations? Okay. First must do, we have to emphasize to the lay people and patients on using symptoms, what they felt or observed as the first step in breast cancer surveillance, and not to rely solely on physicians' examination and diagnostic tests. Number 2, we have to educate the patients on what alert symptoms of breast cancer surveillance to watch, observe, and monitor. So dapat tinuturuan din natin, which I'm doing now, okay, which I've done earlier. Okay. Anong implications ng nakikita niyo kung meron kayong protracted na cough, anong ibig sabihin, no? Ganon. and then to educate them on how to do breast self-examination. Okay. As I said, I'm now emphasizing going for daily breast self-examination para ma-detect earlier ang breast cancer, okay, sa monthly, and then know how to recognize yung mga breast bukol, okay, and then to emphasize the importance of early consultation and then early treatment. Second must do, okay, by the patient is to see and consult a physician, especially a breast cancer specialist, for regular assessment and evaluation, check-up, at planned intervals as recommended by the breast cancer specialist. Usually there's a recommendation, baka may nakita siya, may konting duda, baka he might say, baka kailangan makita ko after 1 month, okay? Or basta na 3 months, ganon. Kung wala naman, usually once a year. So similar to the recommendation to see a dentist at planned intervals, usually mga dentists, they ask you, bumalik kayo for after every 6 to 12 months for dental checkup and oral health maintenance. Ganun din sa breast, na? In the follow-up checkup, the cancer patient should tell the breast cancer specialist of any symptom felt and observed that may be suspicious for cancer recurrence. If none, say none. I-volunteer na ninyo. If not, ako as a breast specialist, I usually ask them just to make sure that wala. Huh? So yung mga nararamdaman, symptoms. So in the follow-up checkup, the minimum examination to be done by the breast cancer specialist, okay, let's say ako yon, no, is a physical examination or clinical examination just based on, when you say clinical examination, it's just based on interview and sign data. Wala pa yung laboratory ito. Laboratory diagnostic tests are done only when indicated. Kung kailangan lang, kung meron tayong suspetsya na baka meron, may unusual findings, na baka merong recurrence na, hindi tayo sure, then papagawa natin diagnostic test. Kung sure tayo wala, then we don't have to do diagnostic test. So when you say planned intervals, okay, this will be recommended by the cancer specialist based on the degree or risk of recurrence of a particular cancer at times of the definitive treatment and after so many years in remission. Yung mga, let's example, yung mga cancer patients who are stage 3, usually ang check-up planned interval is more frequent than those with yung mga stage 1 to stage 2, as a rule. No? So the higher the risk, the more frequent the follow-up checkup. The longer the years in remission, let's say mga 20 years na siya in remission, then you can have less frequent ng checkup. Okay. Pero magpapa-checkup pa rin because recurrence can occur anytime throughout the lifespan of the patient. Okay. So ito nga, still lifetime follow-up and checkups should be done because cancer can always recur. In the breast cancer patients, planned intervals for follow-up checkup after definitive treatment may have the following guidelines. As I said, stage 3 more frequent than stage 1 and stage 2 breast cancers. Okay, example here, a regimen will be on the first year, every 2 to 3 months after the wounds have healed kung naoperahan. Then second to the 5th year, pwedeng every 6 months. 5 to 10 years na, every 12 months. To more than 10 years na, every 2 years pwede. Okay? So interval schedule can vary depending on the agreement and arrangement by the patients and the physicians. Because there are some patients who want to see the doctors more frequently, they feel secured. So instead of 3 months, baka gusto niya every 2 months. Instead of 6 months, baka gusto niya every 3 months. Pwede rin. Na? So depending sa agreement ng mga doktor sa yung pasyente. So the third thing that must do, thing to do after physical examination and clinical examination by the doctor, by the breast specialist, we will do laboratory diagnostic tests only when indicated. Selective, not the battery of tests. Only when there is suspicion for recurrence, and if the doctor, the physician needs to be more definite, wants to be more sure on the diagnosis. Kaya gagawa ng laboratory test. Hindi siya dekahon. Hindi siya lahat gagawin. Okay? So, summary takeaway, I've discussed the following topics. Okay. What is cancer surveillance, breast cancer surveillance? How is breast cancer surveillance is being done? What are the two commonly used approaches? How does R.O. Hawson do the symptom sign-based breast cancer surveillance? And then what are my recommendations? Yung three things na must do. So takeaway in relation to patient empowerment, be always in touch with reliable medical information on symptom sign-based breast cancer surveillance. Knowledge is power. It gives power. Use the 4Ks of patient empowerment, kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on symptom-based, sign-based breast cancer surveillance as part of your health management. So with that, I end my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding on symptom sign-based cancer surveillance, especially on how I usually do it. May kanya-kanyang style yung mga ibang doktor, but this is how I usually do it, okay, as part of your health management. Before we go to the QA portion, reminder after the pep talk, please take the OLETE for Mastery of Learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this one. I placed the link in the chat box. Obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher for the R.O. Hawson medical consultation. And then lastly, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA and interactions. Okay, ready? That's it. Okay. One. Complete na. Isa pa. Charlita Sumilay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the floor is now open for questions, comments, sharing of experiences, as well as consultations. Andiyan si Dr. Lance, you can ask Doc Lance also if you want to consult. No. So how many of you went through those with breast cancer? How many went through the battery of tests? Wala. Butit na lang. Tenny, wala. Mayan, wala. Symptom-based kayo, no? Lorly, wala. Ellen, wala. Okay. Tama? Wala, di ba? How many head sit?
Yes
How
po,
many?
wala.
Si Ellen, wala, di ba? Wala ka ng mga
Wala
CT
po,
scan.
wala.
So, kung meron kayong CT scan, di kahon, abutin kayo mga 20, 40, 20, 30,000 pa additional, no? So, ilang years ka na, Ellen?
Dong 9 years.
9 years times 40, 30, sabihin natin 20,000. 180,000.
180.
Okay. So, si Lorly. Lorly, meron ba tayong battery of tests? Lorly, Ricaporte?
Wala po, Doc.
Wala. Kasi lumipat ka na sa akin after the no? After the chemo radio, no? Kasi kung ando ka pa dun sa medical, sa yung mga specialist, iba battery of test ka pa every year, no? Okay. Okay. Mayan, Jose, are you awake? Meron
Yes
kang
po, Doc.
battery of test ba yung ginagawa sa iyo sa Singapore? O ano lang?
Hindi po eh. After po nung na-trace nila mga biopsy,
ano na po ako, yung schedule na ako for operation.
Na after the operation, anong marami siyang,
Opo, meron na akong gano'ng mga PET scan, yung, PET scan lang po ginawa ko.
PET scan na
Wala,
lang?
tsaka chemo.
Wala nang ibang yung mga ano, tumor markers,
Ay,
gano'n?
wala po.
Okay. So, butit na lang. Anong hospital sa Singapore?
Raffles Hospital po.
Okay. So, Lance, ano ba yung, ano ibang practice sa Singapore?
Ayan, hindi rin naman routinely ginagawa yung battery of tests, yung CT scan, bone scan, unless may pina-follow up na parang indeterminate lesion. Parang kung may suspicious, i-follow up nila after 6 months para to monitor. Pero kung wala naman on initial na mukhang metastatic, hindi naman routine to keep doing it kasi yung stand nila is kung nag-recur, walang mag-change, di ba? Kasi systemic na kasi. So yung mas importante talaga ibantayan yung local kasi pwede pa talagang habulin yung local recurrence, i-re-excise, di ba? Pero kung distant mets na, wala mag-change. So hindi siya routine na ginagawa unless may follow up na parang suspicious or indeterminate, uulitin to monitor. Yung mga tumor markers, mas ginagawa sa mga advanced, yung mga metastatic na. Just to monitor yung response to chemo, to the treatment. Tapos yung iba, more for monitoring, mammogram every year. Yung iba, mammogram ultrasound. Pero yung pinaka minimum standard talaga yung check up with the doctor and breast health exam.
Okay.
Hindi rin recommended yung routine na CT scan, bone scan kung wala naman minomonitor or walang symptoms naman.
Okay. Okay. Pero anong experience niya sa mga relatives ninyo sa Philippines? Usually maraming test pinapagawa ng ibang doktor, no? Tama? Maraming test. Okay.
Opo, Dok. Yung tita ko po, nag-MRI bone scan kasi nag-metastasis na po yung kanya.
Yeah.
Okay. Pero
Yan,
before
kung may proven na metastasis yan, iulit-ulitin nila yan to monitor yung response sa chemo. Yan yung laging iulit-ulitin.
Bali, ang sinisisi po ng oncologist, hindi daw nagpa-chemo noon. Pero tita ko po nawala na po nung Webes. Sabi dahil daw sa hindi nagpa-chemo.
I mean, yumao na? Webes?
Opo, nung Webes po.
Okay.
69 po siya.
69.
Opo.
Ano yung ano niya? Yung
Nag-bone, na daw po siya?
Kailan siya na-operahan? Na-operahan siya?
2019 o 2020 po.
5 years, 2019.
Sabi
6
po
years.
dati, pag hindi daw nagpa-chemo, mamamatay, mawawala daw siya after 2 years. Nagtagal pa naman po siya, awa ng Diyos.
Sino nagsabi noon? Mali yun.
Yung doktor po sa Pangasinan. Sacred Heart po.
Okay. Depende kung anong stage niya. Ano bang stage niya nung inoperahan siya?
2A yata po nun.
2A. So, kasi with chemo, wala namang, even chemo, sabi ko sa iyo, yung mga treatment last time when I discussed it, wala ring guarantee, no?
Opo nga.
So, it doesn't mean that kung nag-chemo ka, hindi rin uulit. Hindi ginagaranti yun yun, no?
Totoo po.
Okay.
Opo.
So, kung 2A on the average, usually mas matagal pa, no?
Opo.
With or without chemo, depende nga sa kung ilan ang nodes niya, maraming factors consider, no? But in the end, we don't know what will be the course, no? We can only make a parang estimate lang based on statistics, no? Based on yung mga nakikita natin. Pero hindi siya absolute, no? So,
Opo.
so in 2 years, hindi pa siya namatay. Hindi pa siya
Opo.
yumaon. So, naka
Opo.
6 years pa siya. Di ba?
Opo.
So, so, then, I don't think it's right to blame na hindi siya kasi nag-chemo. Di ba? Mahirap sabihin,
Opo.
no?
Opo
Okay.
nga.
Yeah. Anyway, so, so yung mga test kung gagawin, kung minsan diagnostic na yon. Pag meron siyang nararamdaman na masakit, so gagawin na yung MRI ang ginawa sa kanya ng
Opo,
bone,
tsaka bone scan po.
MRI ng ano,
Hindi
breast.
ko po alam. Hindi ko po alam eh. Sinabi lang po ng mga tita ko.
Baka
Okay,
liver. Usually, liver MRI sila.
okay.
Chest hindi naman. Lung hindi naman. Baka liver yung MRI.
Anyway, kung gagawin ng mga lab test, again, we have to consider yung mga options, no? So, kino-compare, maraming options. Pwedeng umpisa sa pinakamura at maganda naman yung information that you can get, no? Pwedeng start with that. Example, kung sa liver, pwede ka mag-umpisa sa ultrasound lang muna, no? Kung may duda ka pa, that's the time you can do the CT scan or MRI, no? Kasi mahal kasi yun eh, no? Yung dalawa, no? Yan, no?
Mm.
Okay. Pero kung di naman kailangan, let's say stage 2 after the operation siya, no? Hindi, most likely hindi na kailangan ng pa-ultrasound, no? Just based on symptoms lang, magpapa-check up siya. Then, papain lang yung sarili niya. Then, magpapa-check up siya sa doktor niya, no? Sa breast specialist, no? Okay.
Opo.
So, importante yung check up with the doctors, no? So, ang pinakamaganda is talaga yung daily breast self-exam pa rin, no? Pero kung di ginagawa ng mga tao, at least yung punta na lang sa doktor na at least once a year pa-check up, no? Parang annual PE na lang, pakapaan na lang, no? Okay. Kaysa yung, kasi kung isasabihin natin, annual mamo, mahirap din ano yun eh, mahirap to pa rin, di ba? Mahirap i-accomplish yun, di ba? Saka
Opo.
magastos yun, no? So, punta na lang sa doktor, check up at least once a year kung talagang hindi kayo gumagawa ng breast self-exam ng yung mga meticulously, no? Okay. Pero for the breast self-examination, ang sinasuggest ko is that you do it daily na lang. No? Basta tama yung ginagawa ninyo and then you know how to recognize a breast mass. No? So, pag naliligo nyo, sabunin lang yung breast ninyo tapos tingnan nyo kung may bukol. No? Sandali lang naman yun eh. Kung may nakapa kayo, something unusual, takbo na kagad sa doktor. No? So, kasi kung maghihintay pa, if you do sa mga breast, yung once a year breast exam by the doctor, once a year yung mammo, no? Matagal yun eh, no? So, baka pagkatapos ng mammo, let's say today nagpamamo siya, negative findings, no? Next year pa ang balik, baka by next month, meron ng lumitaw, 11 months na delay na yon, di ba? So, pero pag kinakapahan nyo palagi, pag na-miss nyo on one day, the next day makakapanan ninyo o 2 days after makakapanan ninyo na madidiscover nyo kaagad na at libre pa, di ba? Okay. Okay?
Dok, possible po
Sige.
ba yun? Kasi
Ah,
sabi daw po ng doktor, kasi nadulas po si tita sa sa stairs nila nung nagpunta siya ng CR. Sabi po ng doktor, nagkaroon na rin daw ng complication na naapektuhan daw pati yung rib niya. Ewan ko, totoo po yun.
baka may bone mets na siya. May fracture na siya.
Ah,
May fracture na, no?
ah. Hindi,
Okay.
nadulas lang po siya. After po nun, nahirapan na siya maglakad. Kaya nag-wheelchair na lang po siya.
Kaya baka may recurrence na sa bone. Kaya hindi siya
Ah,
makalakad. Kaya masakit. Masakit yun pag nasa bone.
Nagnipis din po yung binti niya eh.
Okay. So
Tapos
anyway,
namaga yung paa niya.
yan. Okay. Most likely may bone meds na yan. Hindi na siya makalakad. Na?
Okay po.
Okay?
Thank you po, Doc.
Okay. Senny Cabral, meron ka bang battery of test? Senny, wala, ano? Senny?
Wala po,
Wala.
hindi pa po ako puro breast ultrasound lang do kasi meron kaming health card na ma-expire yearly. Kaya ginagamit ko po siya, nagpapa-full abdomen.
Okay. Pinapagawa mo. So,
Opo, kasi sayang naman po yung binayad ng anak ko do sa health card kung di naman po namin nagagamit.
okay. Pero kinakapa mo
Pero
sarili
ngayon
mo.
this year, Doc, last na 65 na po kasi ito eh.
Okay. So okay lang yon kung wala. Pero dapat tuloy pa rin yung breast self-examination mo.
Apa.
Okay. Kung
Saka
may
yung
makapa ka,
tamoxifen po, continue pa rin.
continue. Okay. Yan ang pinaka-importante. Na? Okay. Sige. Okay.
Thank you,
So,
Doc.
you're welcome. So, any more questions or sharing in relation to the topic, battery of test versus non-battery of test, selective lang, no? So, kung nagpapa-check up din kayo, surveillance, mas maganda pa rin yung meron kayong surgeon. Kasi importante yung kapa ng surgeon, no? Kadalasan kasi when you go to the yung mga after the chemo na sa medical onco na kayo tumitigil, no? So usually hindi kinakapa ng gusto ng breast ninyo, no? They rely on laboratory test na, no? Okay, mga test. So mas maganda meron pa rin kayong at least kung pwede kayong bumalik dun sa surgeon kung yung surgeon ay tatanggapin kayo, who will take care of you, no? Just like me, pag ako nag-opera, I will take care of you, no? So hindi ko kayo ipapasa, no? Okay. Pero kung basta check up nyo, dapat babalik kayo sa surgeon, no? Para makapa, no? Okay. Okay? Any more? Any more comments, questions? Kung wala na, we'll call it a day. It's already 3 o'clock. Sakto. Na? So those, just a side announcement, sa December 7, we will have the 30th Cancer Crusaders Club annual Christmas get together. Pakisubmit lang yung mga pictures para ma-update lang natin, no? Yung mga registry ninyo, roster, no? Saka pakisabi na lang sa akin kung ilang years na kayo para ma-update natin, no? Seni,
Okay po,
nakailang
Doc.
years ka na? Nakailang years ka na, Seni?
7 po, this coming December.
7. Mayan, nakailang years ka na, Mayan?
2013 po yung huli. Bago yung 2008.
2008.
2008 po sa'yo, 2013 yung sa
Ay,
Singapore.
So, sige. Ano bang anniversary mo? Jubilarian ka na ba?
September 17 po, 2013.
Anyway, pakisubmit na yung names mo, titingnan ko.
Apa.
Baka recipient ka ng Jubilarian Awards.
Ano po yun, Doc?
Hindi, last year, basta every 5 years, every 10 years, parang mga celebration ng mga classes sa school, di ba? Jubilarian. No? Pag naka 5 years, jubilarian ka na. 10 years, jubilarian. No? Okay. Kung 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, jubilarian na yan. No?
Ay, okay po.
So, may awards kayo doon. Voucher, medical voucher. No? Okay. So,
Thank you po.
sino pa? Si Lorly nag-apply na, no? Si Ellen, Ellen, padala ng picture lang, Ellen.
Yes
9
po,
years,
Doc.
naka 9 years ka na, no?
Yes
Okay.
po, Doc.
Sige. Sige, disseminate lang information on the Christmas get together. At kung pwede, i-post na lang niyo sa Facebook ninyo para ma-disseminate din. Na? Okay? Pakilagay lang sa Facebook ninyo announcement na meron tayong 38th annual Christmas get together at Cancer Crusaders Club. No? Okay? So with that, we'll call it a day. We'll see each other next week. Na? Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you po, Doc.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
Doc.
Weekend
Thank
po.
you po.
Keep safe po sa
Thank
atin.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Oo nga, may bagyo, no? Sige, stay safe kayo, bagyo.
May bagyo po.
Sana di
Stay
dumating.
safe, everyone.
Oo. Nasaan ba yung bagyo ngayon?
Stay dry.
Thank you
Mamaya
po.
pa?
Bye,
Ang ganda
salamat
daw,
po.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay. Bye-bye.